Every morning, millions of men over 50 wake up and perform a ritual that is carving years off their lives. And no, it is not the whiskey in the cabinet, it is not the bacon on the plate, it is not even the stress of the job. In fact, the thing stealing the most time from you is not what you would expect. By the end of this video, you are going to look at your daily routine very differently, because alcohol, that is only number 5. We're counting down the 5 daily habits secretly shortening men's lives, and I promise you, at least 2 of these are hiding in plain sight right now. But here's the thing, this is not about fear, it's about awareness, because once you see the trap, you can step out of it. Let us start with the one everyone thinks they already understand. Number 5, alcohol. Now, before you relax and think you are safe because you only have a couple of beers or a glass of wine with dinner, listen carefully. For decades, we have heard that moderate drinking might actually be good for the heart. But a major meta-analysis published in JAMA Network Open pulled data from over 100 studies and found something sobering. When researchers fully adjusted for confounding factors like former drinker bias and socioeconomic status, the protective effect of low to moderate drinking disappeared entirely. There was no benefit. And for men consuming more than about 3 drinks daily, mortality risk climbs significantly. Think about Thomas, a 64-year-old I heard about from a colleague in preventative medicine. Thomas had his 2 glasses of Cabernet every single night for 30 years. Never binge drank, never got drunk, but his liver enzymes crept up, his blood pressure slowly rose, and by 62, he had developed atrial fibrillation. The doctor told him the nightly wine was not a relaxation ritual, it was a daily toxin. Alcohol is like a slow leak in a tire. You can drive for miles, but eventually you're running on the rim. If you're drinking daily, even moderately, your body is paying a tab you do not see on the receipt. But if alcohol is only number 5, what could possibly be worse? Number 4, chronic sleep deprivation disguised as productivity. Not just getting 6 hours instead of 8, I'm talking about inconsistent sleep. The guy who sleeps 5 hours during the week and tries to catch up with 10 on weekends. According to research highlighted by the American College of Cardiology, chronic short sleep is associated with a 45% increased risk of coronary heart disease. 45%. And here's the statistic that should stop you mid-scroll. Men with optimal sleep patterns live an average of 4.7 years longer than men with poor sleep quality. Let that sink in. Nearly 5 extra years. James was a 60-year-old executive who bragged about functioning on 5 hours. He wore it like a badge of honor until he didn't. His glucose levels started mimicking pre-diabetes. His cortisol was through the roof. His wife said he became emotionally distant, snapping over minor things. Sleep is not just rest, it's neurological maintenance. Think of it like charging your phone with a frayed cable, technically connected, but never fully powered. And when your brain is not fully powered, your patience, your empathy, your ability to show up in your relationships, all of that drains faster too. Now drop a comment right now if you know someone who treats sleep like an optional luxury. And while you're down there, if you want more straight talk about thriving in relationships and health after 50, hit that subscribe button. We cover the things most channels will not tell you. Moving to number 3, the daily processed meat habit. Bacon for breakfast, deli meat for lunch, sausage for dinner. It's the standard routine, and for men over 50, it's devastating. The health professionals' follow-up study tracked nearly 38,000 men for decades. Their findings? Every additional daily serving of processed red meat increased total mortality risk by 20%, not 2%, 20%. A more recent microsimulation study published in The Lancet estimated that simply reducing processed meat intake by 30% could prevent over 16,000 deaths in just 10 years. Michael was 55. He laughed when his doctor mentioned diet. Meat and potatoes built him, he said, but the chronic low-grade inflammation from daily processed meat had narrowed his arteries silently. No chest pain, no warning, just a gradual hardening of the vessels that supply the heart. Processed meat is like sand in an engine. A little seems harmless, but it grinds down the gears over time. And here's what nobody talks about. Inflammation doesn't just hurt your heart. It affects blood flow everywhere, including the places that matter most. So if you want to keep showing up fully in your relationship, that daily bacon might be costing more than you think. But we're just getting started, because number 2 is where this gets deeply personal. Number 2, social isolation. And I do not mean physically alone. I mean lacking deep, meaningful connection. Dr. Julianne Holt-Munstad's landmark meta-analysis at Brigham Young University found that lacking social connection carries a mortality risk roughly equivalent to smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day. The U.S. Surgeon General now calls loneliness an epidemic, and a comprehensive systematic review published in 2025 found that men living alone face a 49% higher risk of all-cause mortality compared to women in similar situations. Men are hit harder. David was 58, successful business owner, divorced for 8 years. He had golf buddies, he had colleagues, but he had nobody he could call at 2 in the morning if his chest hurt, nobody who knew what he was really afraid of. He told his physician he felt fine, but fine is not thriving. Fine is a slow fade. Social isolation is like a plant without water. It looks fine for weeks, then suddenly it wilts. And for men over 50, this is critical, because your health is not just about your body, it is about your reason to stay healthy. If you do not have people you are showing up for, your biology starts asking, what is the point? Your cortisol rises, your immune function drops, your heart literally bears the weight of that silence. If this is resonating with you, let me know in the comments, which of these habits hit closest to home? And if you're watching this thinking, I need to make some changes, hit that subscribe button. This channel is about real talk for men navigating relationships and health after 50, and we're just getting warmed up. Now, the number 1 daily habit secretly stealing years from your life, and I guarantee it is not what you think. Number 1, sitting. Chronic sedentary behavior. The chair is the silent killer. The American Heart Association published a science advisory showing that in men over 71, those in the highest quartile of sedentary time had a 79% higher risk of all-cause mortality compared to the lowest quartile, 79%. And a study in JAMA Network Open tracking nearly 500,000 people found that men who mostly sit at work have a 34% higher risk of dying from cardiovascular disease compared to non-sitters, even if they exercise afterward. Let me say that again. Your evening workout does not erase 12 hours of sitting. It does not work that way. Robert was 62, retired engineer. He walked every morning, but then he sat. He read. He watched television. He checked stocks on his tablet. He was sedentary for over 10 hours a day. His morning walk was like bringing a teaspoon to a forest fire. Sitting is like rust on a bridge, invisible daily, catastrophic eventually. Every hour of sitting triggers changes in your muscles, your metabolism, your endothelial function. Your body was built to move, not occasionally, consistently. So here's the truth. Alcohol is number 5. Sleep inconsistency is number 4. Processed meat is number 3. Social isolation is number 2. And sitting, ordinary sitting, is number 1. 4 out of 5 of these habits have nothing to do with willpower and everything to do with awareness. You do not need to run marathons. You need to stand up more. You do not need to become a vegetarian. You need to swap the daily deli meat for something that doesn't come from a factory. You do not need to become a social butterfly. You need one person who truly sees you. And you do not need to quit drinking entirely, but your body needs more days off from alcohol than it gets. The men who thrive after 50 are not the ones with perfect genetics. They're the ones who notice the small leaks before they sink the ship. So tell me, which habit are you tackling first? Drop it in the comments below. And if this video gave you that gut feeling that it's time to make a change, subscribe to this channel. We talk about men's health, relationships, and the unfiltered reality of living well after 50. Don't just watch this and scroll away. Watch it, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and then go take a walk right now. Your future self will thank you.